Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
What went wrong leading to this destruction in Lyon Township? Aviation experts offering new perspective on this plane crash. Grant.
Top Republicans today saying they've been shut out of conversations in dealing with the pandemic. The governor's office, well, they say they've been invited to every briefing that they've had, coming up the war of words just one day after calls to find common ground.
A group of local nuns who went months having great success keeping coronavirus out of their home are now mourning tonight several of their sisters. Good evening, everybody. Each day we bring you numbers that are important in measuring the impact of coronavirus and our progress against it. Well,
tonight the number 9 has heartbreaking significance. That's how many nuns have died from COVID in a new outbreak at the Dominican Life Center in Adrian. Sean Lay reports on the sisters' sudden and staggering loss after so many months of containing the virus.
Well, good evening. Tonight, the president of the Dominican Sisters tells me they did everything they could to protect everyone on their campus from COVID-19, but the virus has gotten in, and the results have been devastating.
How do you think it got in?
Oh, you know, who knows? In all of our families, how does it come to us? We spent over 9 months keeping the coronavirus at bay. And then right before Christmas, it slipped in.
COVID-19 slipping into the campus of the Adrian Dominican Sisters. Sister Pat Seaman says, despite the strictest of protocols, the reality of this virus, these sisters who dedicated their lives to helping others are no more.
We've had 9 sisters die of COVID total, and all of those were in January within the last 2 weeks.
The sisters who died range in age from 79 into their late 90s, most already high risk with health issues, cared for under quarantine on a skilled nursing unit. But then one sister passed, and then another, and then another.
It is numbing, and I do, a much deeper appreciation for all the other families who have gone through this, the hundreds of thousands of families, and until it personally touches you, I don't care how much we can have a sympathetic heart, it's different when you've already been there and you've lost someone.
Well, tonight, Sister Pat says they truly celebrate the remarkable lives of the sisters who have been lost. Also, right now, 12 sisters on campus are positive and quarantined. 25 have fully recovered. Sean Lake, Local 4.
All right, Sean. Let's turn now to the latest coronavirus headlines that you need to hear today. The state is reporting more than 1,800 new cases, along with 80 more lives lost. That includes 67 identified during a vital records review.
Now, this comes the first 2 U.S. cases of a more contagious COVID-19 variant, B.1.351. First seen in South Africa, has been confirmed in South Carolina. There's no known travel history or connection between the cases. Experts believe vaccines will still be effective against the variant.
City of Detroit has announced it is tripling the number of weekly vaccinations and has expanded eligibility to any resident age 65 and older. Also now eligible are paid and unpaid persons in healthcare settings who have the potential to be exposed to the virus.
We need 15,000 doses a week coming directly to the Detroit Health Department, and we will get them into the arms of Detroiters, and I'm really pleased that starting next week, we have that allocation. It's gone from 5,000 to 15,000. That doesn't mean Detroit overall got more. It means the Detroit Health Department got more, and because the Detroit Health Department is successfully vaccinating people, you're now going to see a big difference.
Mayor said 10,000 Detroiters are already scheduled for vaccines at the TCF Center over the next 4 weeks.
The concept of unity was a big part of Governor Whitmer's State of the State address last night.
Today, Republican lawmakers responded to what they heard last evening, saying the Whitmer administration hasn't exactly put out the welcome mat.
Grant Herms is live tonight with a look at the cooperation gap that will need closing in order to solve the state's biggest problems. Grant.
Well, good evening. Despite calls for unity on both sides, today's State of the State response is what we expected for this year, a bitter stalemate in Lansing as the pandemic and the economic fallout from it continue to have that stranglehold on the state. Amid calls for unity, a war of words as the governor and Republican leadership trade verbal blows just one day after the State of the State. Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey and House Speaker Jason Wentworth, the GOP's top leaders, saying they didn't hear a plan from the governor Wednesday night and want more from her going forward. Shirkey saying they haven't had a productive meeting with Whitmer's office for 9 months.
I've been invited to one conversation with the governor, but invited to many presentations. The point being this: you can't govern, you can't acknowledge input from others by doing one-way, one-sided presentations.
This morning, the governor calling a recent promise to withhold federal funding cruel and reckless. Wentworth using those words back at the governor about the deadline to reopen restaurants at 25% capacity next week, calling it uncertain.
By business owners, restaurant owners that are concerned that that's not going to be the date. And then that right there is reckless.
Both sides have called for compromise, but Thursday morning, neither seemed to want that compromise to come from them.
I cannot cede the, responsibility of making these tough decisions to anyone else. The buck stops with me.
That's to be determined, right? We're still in that phase of, we just had our first hearing.
I don't know why it has to be a zero-sum game.
Now, we asked the governor's office about what Shirkey described as a lack of conversation between her office and the legislature. They said today that Republicans are invited to the COVID briefings. That's presumably what Shirkey was calling those presentations. They also said that Republican leadership attendance at those briefings has been, quote, hit or miss. In downtown Detroit, Grant Terms, Local 4.
All right. Thank you, Grant.
General Motors tonight going all in on a carbon neutral future. The automaker deciding to end tailpipe emissions on its light duty vehicles, that includes pickups and SUVs, by 2035 and globally by 2040. Business Editor Rob Maloney live tonight downtown at the RenCen with what this means for GM, but also in the really big picture, Rod, the entire auto industry.
Well, and it looks like the industry as a whole is headed this way, Devin, and General Motors is basically saying that they are going with the UN protocols and also other regulators like the Biden administration when it comes to the green energy situation. But they did find themselves in a little bit of trouble because they used the word aspire to these goals and didn't say that they're absolutely going to get there. Let's check it out. Just days after GM changed its corporate logo, the century-old company is now changing the way it's doing business, putting the battery electric vehicle at the fore. GM Sustainability Chief Dane Parker assured that change does not come with job loss.
And so as we look forward, we're planning on using the resources we have and allocating them in a way that supports this EV future. And making sure that we bring the good quality, high-paying jobs that we have today with us.
Still, this kind of transformation is very expensive. Yet Parker predicts this is where the entire industry is headed.
We feel this is going to be the successful business model of the future.
It's a great day for General Motors.
Green energy auto analyst Luann Hammond of DrivingTheNation.com says GM, watching Tesla, is taking an educated leap.
Get their manufacturing inside what their beliefs are. You're going to see not only more people want to buy their cars, but their stock go up, which is what their goal has been all along.
Now, Consumer Reports and others criticized Parker's use of the term aspires to these goals.
I would even use the word we're taking actions so that we can eliminate tailpipe emissions by 2035, because over the next 5 years, we're spending $27 billion.
Now, nothing is ever as easy as it seems. You can't just wave the magic wand. They've got a lot of work to do. They know that. They admit that. But one of the things that's going to happen is that the trucks are not going to be electric. They're saying the trucks are going to be, the big heavy trucks are going to end up being hydrogen fuel cell vehicles because that technology seems to work better there. And then they'll make up the rest of the difference with carbon credits, buying carbon credits. Back to you.
Yeah. All right, Rod, fascinating glimpse into the future. Karen?
Well, we are getting a deeper look into the crash of a plane into a house in Lyon Township earlier this month. That crash killed 3 people. On the plane, pilot David Campo, his wife Michelle, and their son Dawson. The family inside the house was not harmed, but their home is currently unlivable. Larry Spruill is live this evening with updates on that family and the cause of the crash. Larry, what have you learned?
Well, Karen, that report goes into details outlining the very moments right before that plane crashed. It also talks about the conversation between the pilot and tower control. Meanwhile, I spoke with that family tonight, and they tell me that they are simply starting over.
This has not been a good start to 2021, that's for sure.
Danielle Majova is still dealing with everything that happened over the last few weeks.
It's very hard to process that.
Her family's home on Dakota Drive near New Hudson was destroyed in this plane crash on January the 2nd. Danielle says they have been staying with her parents since then. 3 people on the plane died: David Campo, his wife Michelle, and their son Dawson.
I've heard a little bit about the report, and it's very heartbreaking. I don't even have the words to describe that. It's just purely an accident.
That report Danielle is talking about is the Aviation Accident Prelim Report from the National Transportation Safety Board. Parts of the report state there was no record that pilot obtained a weather briefing or flight plan from Canton, Georgia to Michigan. It also says the pilot was not instrument rated, which means he was not legally certified to fly in the clouds, rain, and fog during bad weather.
It's so heartbreaking that his whole family is gone, from this accident.
Meanwhile, as for the Majova family, they're trying to start over again.
The plan so far is to demolish it and rebuild. As of now, we can't imagine moving from our neighborhood with our, all our best friends are there.
And Danielle tells me that she is blessed that her family is okay. They did lose their cat in that crash. And once again, she wants to thank all of her neighbors for all of the support during this difficult time. We're live tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Larry, when you were talking to Danielle, did she offer any kind of timeline on how long it's going to take to rebuild their home?
Yeah, Karen, and so it's really a long process. She says they are waiting for an estimate from the insurance company. She says that can take weeks before that process even starts. Karen?
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you very much, Larry.
How big an issue is facial hair when masking up? Is it safe to adopt a pet from someone who's had COVID? Dr. Frank McGeorge answering those questions and more just ahead.
And here is Ben.
And Karen, if your question is when will the warmer temperatures arrive, the answer is not soon. We'll be a little bit more specific with that and look at your weekend snow, which is coming clearer into focus next.
And next, answers in the case of a Royal Oak teenager found dead on the Grand Valley State campus under circumstances police called suspicious.